My name is Matthew Watkin. I'm a clinical psychologist in Cape Town, South Africa. And I'm going to talk to you today about some of the first experiences people have when they start practicing mindfulness. And in MBCT, which is what I teach, the first session is entitled Overcoming or Getting Beyond Autopilot. And autopilot is a mode of being that we are on most of the time. So if you just reflect back on your day, or however long it's been today, we woke up this morning, got out of bed, had a shower, got dressed and ate, drove to work. How much of that do you actually remember? How present were you during those activities? I mean, you know it happened, you can remember it, but how present were you actually? And when we begin practicing mindfulness, one of the first things we come to see is how much of the time we actually not here. We become aware of how unaware we are, of how much of our day is filled with this mode of mind, of being that we call autopilot. So in autopilot, we still get things done, but we lose a certain quality of our experience. That's the part that some teachers would call the multidimensional splendor, the full embodied experiential quality of being there. And that might include just our senses of sight and touch and smell, taste if we're eating. So autopilot, becoming aware of how much of the time we're not aware.
That's really awesome and actually striking to see how absent we can be. And when you become more aware of your sensations and emotions and your thoughts, what does it reveal? Do you get a nice sense of when I become more present where I am, do you get some kind of a revelation or?
So one of the things that people really, the freedom that we get from practice comes from what we call disidentifying with our experience. So most of the time we're lost in thought and we treat the thought experience as if it's real and we react as if it's real. And one of the most liberating elements of practicing mindfulness is coming to see thoughts for what they really are, which is just events in our mind that arise and exist and pass away. Thinking is a wonderful servant. It is really helpful to us, but is an awful master. So the liberation that we get from this practice comes from being freed from our own thoughts, from all those thoughts that tell us what we should be doing and what we must do, and everything that comes with that. And their power, by the way, maybe just to add, the power of those thoughts is because they are moving through us without our awareness. It is just moving through, so we just kind of take them as fact. As soon as we become mindful, then we can step back from those thoughts and we can go, I've got a thought I must wash my car. But actually, do I have to wash my car?
That's really profound. It sounds like as if you're using words that describes a distance between me and my thoughts. It sounds weird. I thought I did not have any distance between me and my thought, but seems to be I can be aware of it and then respond in a different way as I become aware of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, a lot of people struggle to really see thoughts in for exactly what they are, and within the systems that we teach from, thinking is really just another sense. The mind's eye has thoughts, like our ears process sounds, and our nose, our sense of smell comes. Our nose processes smell. Our minds receive thoughts. We are not our thoughts. Thoughts are events that occur in a moment, and when we can see that, we can free ourselves from their tyranny a lot of the time, to be honest.
it sounds like kind of an adventure. if if one become more mindful to see what kind of mind events and emotional events then, and it's like coming and going, but it's really kind of changing the attitude, isn't it? To be okay now, what's gonna aspire today? What's gonna come up next, and how I'm going to respond to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly right, Emmanuel. So I think, what you're speaking to is how is the quality of our attention, of our awareness, and that, having a sense of curiosity and wonder, underlies how we look. So it's not about looking to change to make things right. It's not that our thoughts are wrong. It's just, cultivating the sense of curiosity to our own experience, to, wow, this thought is arising, or this feeling, this sensation is here, and becoming curious around this inner world, this vast expanse and deep and rich inner world that, to be honest, most of us just are completely oblivious to.
Well, yeah, that sounds like really an exciting journey to go on, is to getting to know our own thoughts and feelings and emotions.